Hello, my wonderful spirit guides, and welcome back to my Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard album reaction, where I am reacting to all the songs in individual videos. The reason I'm doing this is because I like to get deep into the lyrics, and that could take a long time. If I did it all in one video, then the video could be 5 hours or more, and I really don't want to be sitting down filming for that long, for one, because my brain just literally wouldn't work. I wouldn't even be able to analyze the lyrics in like for that long, no way. So this is like a good way of doing it. Of course, it's a little bit different for me, so it was definitely a risk, but it seems to be going quite well so far, and I'm really happy about that, and I hope that you've been enjoying it. But anyway, let's make this quick. If you want to check out my Patreon, Instagram, all of the things, the links will be in the descriptions. I'm going to keep it at that, and this video will be a part of a playlist, so at the end all the videos will be together, therefore you can run through the reactions through the album. The next song on the album that I am listening to is Kintsugi. Interesting. Is it Japanese, or what is the meaning of Kintsugi? Maybe I'll have a look what that means. Oh, it is Japanese, cool. In the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery by mending, yes, okay, I do know about this. It's like breaking the pottery and then mending it together, and it's meant to be more beautiful that way, and I think it's a metaphor for like, maybe I'll look into it a bit better, but it's meant to be a metaphor for like things that are broken can be fixed and made to be more beautiful after, something like that. So yes, Kintsugi is a Japanese art of putting broken pottery pieces back together with gold, built on the idea that in embracing flaws and imperfections you can create an even stronger, more beautiful piece of art. Okay, wonderful. And it's a 400-year-old technique that actually highlights the scars as part of the design. Using, I realised I haven't got my glasses on. Oh, I keep forgetting about glasses. Can't see properly, and here I am, not wearing my glasses that I've got. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. Honestly, I've only recently got glasses, so it's difficult. Using this as a metaphor for healing ourselves teaches us an important lesson. Sometimes in the process of repairing things that have broken, we actually create something more unique, beautiful, and resilient. What a wonderful like ancient technique that is used in it. Like for it to be 400 years old too shows that we've had that kind of thought, or like obviously, well, definitely in Japan anyway, have that thought of things that are broken can be rebuilt. Something in our human existence that is, you know, dated back 400 years ago, something that's very ancient within us to feel that way. That's cool. But anyway, let's actually get into the song. I've been so excited because I didn't get to film yesterday because I was having a family day and I got my ears pierced. The last time I had my ears pierced, I was 13 or 14, and I wasn't actually meaning to go get my ears pierced. It's just that my daughter got hers done, and in solidarity I got mine done, just to be like, okay, I'll do it too. And actually I'm really happy because I think it's going to be cool when I get to put my own little sparkly ones in, and even nicer, it was done by my cousin as well, who is qualified, of course. But anyway, enough of that. Oh, it's weird. Oh, I've got to cover those. That feels weird. Okay, not too bad though. Right, anyway, let's go into it. Kintsugi.
The body can't come back from.
Oh, it's so muffled.
In 1 year we've learned the depth that the chest cavity takes. I was there for the third, 'cause I couldn't be there for the one who was closest to me when things get hard.
This is beautiful.
It's just that I don't trust.
Definitely more of a ballad type.
With my heart.
Wow.
That's how the light shines in. That's how the light shines in.
Ooh. Whistling.
Everyone was there, they were standing laughing. He thought mine was his to cough into his mouth.
Interesting.
We've only got power when you see someone dying. You sea of your gaze flash in front of you. Who will be with you? And then there's Donahue.
Oh, this is a sad one.
Daddy, I miss them in the mountains.
Chills.
From the feelings I get when I think all the things at the Roadrunner Cafe. I'm probably running away. That's how the light gets in.
Why? This is the first song I'm reacting to today, and I'm like trying to hold back tears right now.
Brought by the sunlight of the spirit to pour into me. Kintsugi, 14-year-old new froggy came a-courting. I don't know anyone left who knows songs that I sing. That's how the light gets in. But Daddy, I miss them.
Just freezing.
I'm in the mountains, but there's nothing to do except know that that's how the light gets in. Then you're golden. Folks on the highway, I just hope that God's okay. The light gets in. It's how the light.
Those keys are being pushed really hard in places. That was 6 minutes and 18 seconds. It didn't feel like it. It felt like a timeless moment. Oh, I get it. I get it. Definitely sounds like a song about grief, in the way I interpret it, for sure. But so beautifully sang, and there's positives in it too. There's like pain and positives, which is beautiful. And actually I did recently see something about her talking about, was it her grandma or someone was, you know, passing away, and her whole family sang songs to her at the hospital bed or something like that. I think it was something like that, but I don't know. So I guess one of those verses was about that. Obviously I'm going to look deeper into it, but when it started I was like, okay, it's like a slow type, and then as the lyrics got going and the way she was singing, I was like, oh, it's very ballady actually. And then there was also just like little bits of just beauty in like this happy way, like just, what's the word, it's not happy, but it's like maybe just sentimental, or not bittersweet, because it's not bitter in any way. It has that kind of like, I guess, a cathartic release in some way, but also there's just like a, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. I'm going to get into it. I hope I don't get too emotional reading it though. Ah! Wow, I'd love to know what you thought of that song. I haven't really heard many people mention it. Like no one say, I've not heard of many people go, oh, I can't wait for you to hear this one. But I actually feel like that could be one of my favourites so far. Maybe because it feels personal to me too. Oh, I can take these off now, can't I? Right, so verse 1, there's a certain point the body can't come back from. In 1 year, we've learned the turn of the mouth. So turn of the mouth could be like, oh, you know, sad, happy. So it's like maybe we've learned that like our smiles have turned to sorrow. And then maybe in 1 year, as you're grieving those people, like your mouth kind of slowly stays in a more sad way. The depth that the chest cavity takes, I guess like something to do with like the heart, you know, the depth that it takes, you know, maybe a depth that you didn't realize could go that deep. Like, and when you lose someone, you notice there's another pain in your life that is deeper than most things. Chucky was there for 3 out of 3. I was there for the 3rd because I couldn't be there for the one who was closest to me. Oh, I think she's talking about people, like Chucky was there for 3 out of 3, like people that she's lost. I was there for the 3rd because I couldn't be, you know, she just couldn't be there, maybe because of her schedule or because she just couldn't do it. like she just found it too hard. I was there for the third because I couldn't be there for the one who was the closest to me. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe she's actually saying, I was there for the third because I couldn't be there for the closest to me, so I wanted to make up for it by being there for the third one in some strange way. But I can't say I run when things get hard. It's just that I don't trust myself with my heart. She doesn't want to not be there because she's running away from it. It's because she is so worried that she will sob or be like, I don't want you to go, I don't want you to die, you know, that it might ruin the situation. She's nervous about that, which is understandable. But she said, but I've had to let it break a little more because that's what they say it's for. So it's almost like she's saying, you know, I don't trust myself in my heart, but I've had to let it break a little more to, you know, just to, it's almost like practicing, you know, let it break, so you know what that feels like more, so you know how to mend it or know how to cope with it. And it's interesting that, you know, she says, because that's what they say it's for. Because who says that? Who says that hearts are meant to break? Well, actually, that is kind of a quote, isn't it? Hearts are meant to break. Without heartbreak, you don't really evolve much as a person. I don't mean heartbreak as in just relationships. I mean heartbreak, you know, maybe not getting the job you wanted, losing a family member, or, you know, being embarrassed by someone, or, you know, seeing someone not achieve their goals. Like, your heart could break for so many reasons. You know, your heart could break in empathy of others too. And then the chorus is so beautiful because she then goes, that's how the light shines in. You know, when you let it break, you know, the light will then shine in and you'll be shown some grace. There's balance in everything, basically. And with a broken heart and all its dark cracks, the light shine in and make it golden. I'm going to make myself cry. In those dark times, sometimes you get beautiful things like happen with, you know, support from friends or nature. In my experiences, I've always found very like, this is sad to say, but since I've got the stuff I went through last year, I'm in a very nihilistic state in some ways. I don't have the same beliefs I used to. I used to believe in the universe looking out for me and angels of some degree, maybe not religious types of angels, but something there. And as I was coming out of my addiction that I went through, I felt loads of spiritual messages, but then it kind of dulled. And maybe because I don't need them as much now, but my brain started to set into place that I don't really believe in anything looking out for me, which is extremely sad. And I know that's really personal, but that's how I am on this channel. I guess that's why I'm finding it emotional, because when your heart gets so hurt and light does shine in, like these little moments where you might see a butterfly, or you might see, you know, the sun shine in a specific way across the water that means something to you. It hurts me now because I haven't really felt a lot of that recently, and I'm almost like I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I hope it comes back. I hope my belief, my faith comes back, because it's dark. But anyway, this is a beautiful song, and maybe I should listen to it a bit more, because it's not just after the addiction, it is after the death of my cat as well. And I know that's so different to losing people in your life, I know, but it really messed with me, and it still is. So yeah, it's just hard. Anyway, I'm going to carry on, because like I'm starting to feel like I'm spiraling into my own problems here. But that's what music does, right? That's what lyrics do. They bring out personal feelings for you too. Anyway, verse 2. So everyone was there. They were standing, laughing, and I'm on the side with my tears streaming down. That's interesting. They're standing and laughing and like being like, you know, maybe thinking of the good times, being like, you know, remember this, remember that. But she's there like, she can't laugh yet. She's in a, you know, level of grieving where it's still too painful to laugh. I'll click it, and I'll also click That's How the Light Shines In too. When I click That's How the Light Shines In, someone has said, despite being broken and being put back together like Kintsugi pottery, light still shines in through the golden cracks. Unlike before, it's not completely dark inside, opening up this new perspective. Oh, cool. So I didn't know that. I thought like the light shining in was the gold. But no, that's cool. Also a reference to the anthem by Leonard Cohen, there's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. Oh, very nice. Very cool. Cool. I like that. She references so many people she loves, doesn't she? Which I think is cool because it means like her lyrics mean that we get to, you know, learn as well. Anyway, I'm clicking this so everyone was there standing and laughing. Yeah, I'll click that bit. Lana is saying that she feels like an outcast. The parts of her life that felt so vibrant before feel dull and dark now. Lana is referring to the time after her relatives have passed when her family are reminiscing about the good memories they've shared with their loved one. However, Lana feels that she is unable to move on as easily as her family and is still deeply affected by the losses. Yeah, I actually do agree with that. It has got 5 down votes for some reason, but I agree with it. I do. I don't know. What if you have a different opinion? Let me know. Right. There's something about the clutch of the wrist. He thought mine was his to carve into his mouth. What's that mean? There's something about the clutch of the wrist. Like, he thought mine was his. Mine was his. To carve into his mouth. Like, I don't know. I don't know. The only thing I could think is like the clutch of the wrist being like maybe not a horrible way, not like that, but more of like a, you know, like a attentive kind of "you okay" sort of thing. And then thought what mine was his to carve into his mouth. So maybe, you know, what her sadness, he empathized with her, and then he looked at her like, you know, like, "You okay?" You know, empathized. So like the carve of his mouth turned to sadness like hers. That's the only way I could think about it. But yeah, we've only got hours and I just can't stop crying because all of the ways when you see someone dying, you see all your days flash in front of you. And you think about who would be with you, and then there's Donahue. So sad. So true as well. When you know when someone dies, those days do completely flash in front of you, and you just think, I want them back. I remember when, you know, my cat died, for instance. I know I keep going to the cat, but like I think a lot of you would understand that was a really painful experience for me because I'm a real cat mum. Like I'm like obsessed with my babies, and they're Savannah cats, and they had so much personality, and I can't tell you how much they are a part of my everyday like interactions, and I just love them so much. But anyway, when I found out and we were thinking he was going to live, and then we got up ready to go collect him to then bring him to surgery, but we got the phone call saying that he passed away in the night, and the just feeling, and I just could not stop yelling like, I want him back, I want him back now, like just shouting at the air like, what are you doing, like, you know, and all the things that he did and all his little personality things just flashing through your mind. And you know, I've mentioned this before, but sadly my boyfriend's brother, who was very close in age, he passed away as well. I can't even imagine how that would have felt. I mean, I was there for it, like, you know, for him in that time, but he just took it like, unfortunately, this sounds like a weird thing to say, but he took it like a man, and I don't mean that as a good thing. You know, he took it right on the chin. He was strong. Obviously, he'd have his moments where he'd break down, but he was so strong, and I just couldn't believe it. And when I'd lost my cat, I began to understand a fraction of what he might have felt, and it made me love him even more. He's such a strong person. Got more to react to, and I'm already sad. Okay, anyway. And you think about who will be with you, you know, maybe when you will die, you think he'll be there, you know, next to you when you're passing away. And then there's Donahue, which is a musician, right? Oh, yeah, Lana was rumoured to be in a relationship with musician Jack Donahue from the band Salem after he posted photos of them together outside Cook Country Jail in July 2022. It's funny that she's like, and you think about who would be there with you, and then there's Donahue. Interesting. What does she mean by that? Does she mean it like, oh, he's there next to me, he's the one next to me? Is she saying that in a good way or a bad way? Also, I did have a little skim over his Instagram the other day, and it was hard to look at. Some of those older pictures, I don't know if it was just like an art thing he's doing, but some of it was very freaky. I'm not judging. He's probably a lovely person. I don't know. Someone has written something here as well. They've said, I think it's important to reflect on why she would reference Donahue at the end of the verse. In the previous line, she's reflecting on who would be with her on her last days, and then she finishes by saying, and then there's Donahue, which implies some sort of contrast. As she thinks about those who would be with her until the end, she realises he's not one of them. Okay, depending on how you interpret it, this could be read as a sad realization where she becomes aware their relationship is not real and it's not going to last, or an angry one where she's basically saying there's all these people who love me and are going to be there for me, and then on the other side there's this man who has wronged me. Yeah, because it could be like, and then there's Donahue. You know, I see all this love and then there's him. Why is he in my life? You know, maybe it got her questioning, like, do I really want someone like him in my life? Because I'm seeing all this love and I'm not seeing it with him. She really is like getting personal and open with this album. It really is songs to herself and songs that it's like her diary. And I just want to like say, like, that's actually a really brave thing to do, because it's like our thoughts. Yeah. Some of them we don't want everyone to know, but it's almost like she's not caring about that. She's like, I don't care if someone reads my thoughts. I think that's cool. And it really is a point of, I don't care anymore what people think. I'm just doing it. And I really think that's cool. Bridge. Daddy, I miss them. I'm in the mountains and probably running away from the feelings I get when I think of all the things about them. Yeah, it's quite simple really, isn't it? And it like breaks my heart that she's like, Daddy, I miss them, you know, because her father would know all of them as well. It's family. And it shows even more that it's family they're talking about, because he knows them all. And just something about her, like, you know, crying to her father, and which is sad. And to think that one day she might lose him too. And that's just the way life goes. She's in the mountains, running away from the feelings because it's so painful. Makes sense. Daddy, I miss him. I'm at the Roadrunner Cafe. I'm probably running away from the thoughts in the day. I'd have things to do with them, but they say. So that's interesting. Like, I'm running away from the thoughts in the day. So say she's like going for a walk on the beach. She's running away from that because maybe walks on the beach is something she did with some of those family members. So she's trying to avoid any place where she would think about them, or in a way where she would think about. She's avoiding places that she might have gone with them, or places that they would have liked to go with her. I hope that makes sense. You know, she's just trying to get away from all of it. She doesn't want it to be real. She's escaping it because it's too painful. She then says, that's how the light gets in, you know, but they say that's how the light gets in, that's how the light gets in. So she's saying, but they would say, go to these places, go and do these walks and remember us, because that's how the light gets in, because the memories are the only things that stay living on, and that is something that she's already talked about throughout this album. So then she says, think by the 3rd of March I was cracked open. Finally the ground was cold, they wouldn't open. Brought by the sunlight of the spirit to pour into me. Interesting. So she's, you know, stating the date, 3rd of March, literally, that's, you know, that's the day she was cracked open, where all the pain that she'd been trying to avoid finally just broke loose, and she cried, or like, you know, felt it all again, felt the pain. The ground was cold, you know, like imagine if the ground was hot, then that's her running, you know, because it's hot, you're like, hop, 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 you know, hot feet, so you're running more. But now it's finally, the ground was cold, she could put her feet to it, it was cooling her down, you know, she was grounded in some way. But they wouldn't open was like, the cafe wasn't open, so she couldn't go and hide in there, maybe. Brought by the sunlight of the spirit to pour into me, you know, so maybe the sunlight that was, you know, on her it was showing her, like, even though this cafe is not open, she can't, like, avoid it. The sunlight is like a message saying, you know, pouring the spirit into her, giving her, like, cradling her in this time of grief. I'm not sure, obviously I'm going quite deep into it, I'm just interpreting.
Also saying the ground was cold could have been more simple. It could have been a cold day in March, therefore the cafe wasn't open because no one was really hiking the trail near the cafe. So it could just be as simple as the weather, and obviously she was always trying to escape there, but because it was closed, she had nowhere to run to, and she basically had to face it, and that's when the sun came pouring into her, and I guess the spirit of God.
And then there's a name for it in Japanese, it's Kintsugi. They sang folk songs from the 40s. Even a 14-year-old knew Cut Froggy Coming a Courtin'. How do my blood relatives know all these songs? I don't know anyone left to know songs that I sing. She's like, how do they know all these songs? But I guess because their family is so strong, there's a deep, you know, sense of family that their fathers, their mothers, uncles and all that all teach the songs throughout the family. It just shows how close-knit it is. But then she says, I don't know anyone left to know the songs that I sing. I wonder what that means, like someone, maybe not family, but maybe she's talking about love, like, you know, lovers or friends. I'll see if that's got anything there. Well, it says here, Lana seems bewildered by the high number of young people from our century who know this track, as it's ancient. She further contemplates whether people will familiarise themselves with her music. Okay, cool. Yeah, so maybe it is talking about her own songs, and she did sing that in a very passionate way that really felt emotional to me when she said it. And the first thought I got was it being about her songs, but I wasn't sure as I was reading it then. But yeah, that does make sense. Like, will there be anyone left to know the songs that I sing when I pass away? Are they going to sing to me my songs or like songs that I love anyway? Maybe not her own songs. She's almost feeling insecure that like she won't have the turnout that maybe her other family members have had, because maybe she doesn't feel a high sense of self-esteem with it, or I'm not sure, or maybe she's just wondering. I don't know. But then she says that's how the light gets in again. That's how the light gets in. And then bridge 2, again, she says about, you know, I miss them, running away from my feelings. I've been meaning to say that there's nothing to do except know that this is how the light gets in. Like crackling, the light gets in. It's how the light gets in, then you're golden. Yeah, and I love that, you know, it's the light gets in, and then as it comes in, you become golden, and I guess you're healing in some ways, and you're evolving into someone new, and that is beautiful again, but the pain isn't so dark anymore. And then she says, just another folk song, but anyway, I tried so hard, but that's okay. It's how the light gets in. You know, she's like, it's just a, you know, little folk song. It doesn't mean, shouldn't be so sentimental, but anyway, you know, she's almost like being doubtful of herself. And she's like, I try so hard, but that's okay. You know, I really try all the time, but it's all right. It's how the light gets in. It's how the light gets in. It's almost she's trying to tell it to herself, like, I'm going to keep working hard, keep doing everything I can to feel happy and good, because when I keep trying, the light gets in. If I'm, you know, not trying anymore, then there might not be any light to come in. I'll click the just another folk song anyway. This line refers to how critics and fans reacted to the folk pop approach of Chemtrails Over the Country Club and Blue Banisters after having mostly associated Lana with grunge and pop albums such as Born to Die and Ultraviolence, which have greatly defined her career, although she hasn't released similar albums since the early 2010s. This line could also double as a clapback at those who don't think much of her music due to her expressing herself more freely in the past several years. Kintsugi is just another folk song to her critics, but it's personal to her, and that's all that matters. Brilliant analysis there, so true. I wasn't thinking she was saying it about herself. I was thinking she was saying it about the old nursery rhyme that she mentioned in this song, The Frog Around the Corner, whatever it was called. But no, that makes it even, that's even deeper, you know, just another folk song. But anyway, I try so hard, but okay. You know, I guess that still makes sense to what I was saying about she feels insecure. Being sassy with it too, you know, yeah, I guess it's just another folk song. But she's also saying I try so hard, but that's okay. You know, I actually do a lot. It's not just a folk song. I try so hard with this music I make, and I pour my heart out into it. and you don't have to believe that. You can think it's another folk song. It's okay. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. All the pain around me shines light inward in the end. That's how I grow. That's how I evolve. Yeah. But yeah, what a beautiful and sad song. I very much felt a lot with that one. But yeah, I wonder what the next one will be like. Fingertips, I think, is the next one. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, I will see you in the next one. This was quite a long video, but that's because the lyrics are quite deep and profound and personal to me. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I guess you can definitely see now why this is not a full album reaction. It's just the song. I don't know how long this will be for YouTube, but it's 41 minutes in real time, so that's crazy. But anyway, I shall see you in the next one. Bye.